Hey folks, Michael here, and I just want to show you a few things that have come to me in the mail recently that I've ordered. Every year I get my income tax refund. You know, I've lived all year without that money, so what the hell? To me, it's like free money. It's like kind of my secular Christmas thing or something, because it's like free money to me. I didn't have it all year, and this year I got a pretty sizable refund. So I got to spend some money on some things, and I spent some money on some records, and I actually have a few more coming yet, but it'll be a while before they get here. At any rate, thought I'd show you what has arrived thus far, and that I am very stoked to have just today. Tin Huey, the single English Kids backed with the song Sister Rose, which they're very different songs too, by the way. Tin Huey is written by Chris Butler, and Sister Rose was written by H. Golden C. Keith. And I need to brush up on everybody that was in Tin Huey. So that almost completes my discography of Tin Huey. In other words, I think there's two more singles that I need to get. They didn't put out a lot. I am going to be doing a little thing later about Chris Butler, who also goes on to do some other stuff. But I'm kind of waiting to do that, and who has a very interesting solo thing going on too. So that came today. Also, Home and Garden, History and Geography. This came out in 1984 on After Hours Records, and this is a beautiful record. All of these were ordered from Philadelphia Music on Discogs. I've dealt with them before, and they have a very high rating. I don't know if that's actually an individual or a store in Philadelphia or what. What I do know is their prices have always been excellent. Their grading has been spot on, if not a tad conservative. And I've never been in the least bit disappointed with them. And so anyway, that's this. Home and Garden. Home and Garden, History and Geography. Home and Garden is Jim Jones, R. Scott Krause, Tony Maimone, and Jay Morrison, not to be confused with the dead man from California. They were out of the band Pere Ubu, and in the early 80s, of course, David Thomas disbanded Pere Ubu for a while, until 86, 87. Well, these guys went back to Cleveland and did this, and this is a band that is still around. And by the way, this is very, very good. You can really tell, just like with the particularly that rhythm section. Bass and drums are just spot on, excellent. The whole album is very, very good. It does and doesn't sound like Pere Ubu. Nothing could sound like Pere Ubu very easily without David Thomas, although he is, last I know, I've never heard him say anything to change it, that he is going to retire and he's going to replace himself. And more power to him. I think in a way that's kind of an awesome notion, that he would regard himself as, rather than thinking of himself as Pere Ubu, think of Pere Ubu as something larger than himself that would be, capable of continuing to present those pieces that they present without him being the presenter. Blah 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 blah. But you can definitely hear a lot of Ubu in there. And Home and Garden is still in existence. I recently they did a show in Cleveland. They do pretty often. The personnel change. but still, great stuff. And I do also have a single that they put out just this year in February. And I talk about it and show it on, there's one of my very early YouTube videos where I talked about Home and Garden and Para Ubu and, kind of share my little thoughts on that. So there's that. Home and Garden and Tin Huey. And moving on here, I just don't even know where. Okay. This also came from Philadelphia, so I'll stick with this. To me, just one of the most brilliant artists I know. There is a video that I've done about Lane Steinberg where I showed the first two records by his first band, which was called The Wind, with basically Lane Steinberg and Stephen Katz. This is their third and final album as The Wind. And I didn't even know this one existed for a long time. I thought I had it all, and then I realized, oh my God, there's another one. I got to get it. So I've got these, and I think there might be a couple of singles out there that I don't have, but I've pretty much got all of The Wind, and I've pretty much got everything else that Lane has done. And I'm going to say this, Lane is one of the few people that I can think of who I could listen to this man's music all day, every day, and it would never wear out for me. It would just not wear out for me. He is just that good. And this album, although I've only listened to it once, and I've listened to the others multiple times, this album might even be their best album. To me, it just shows how spineless and gutless the record industry is, that nobody picked this band up, and took had the balls to take a chance on this band. They should have, they should have done incredible, everything that I've already talked about. I've given you my rant about all of that in the Lane Steinberg video. So that's all I'm going to say. It's The Wind, Living in the Modern World. The band had expanded a bit with Roy Abrams being added, so it was a 4-piece band. It began as a 3-piece band and began in Miami. And I'm not sure if they were still in Miami. No, they were this was recorded in Hoboken, and I think they may have even made the move. This came out in 1986. Like I say, it was the last album, and it is just gorgeous and brilliant. It is on Midnight Records, and which is a label that I think is really a great label, but I think it's almost it's kind of an odd place for this album. That's all, I like that label, don't get me wrong, but I don't know where, I don't know, it's one of those things. And then here's two that are equally in their way quirky. I'm going to stick with the 12-inch vinyls first. Yes, I ordered the Shaggs. I have been holding out for ages saying I want a first pressing. Well, first pressing, first of all, is crazy money. This weren't cheap. And this is the second pressing, or the reissue, from 1980. It was originally issued in 1969. And then kind of nobody, it became almost a secret thing until 1980. And I think that it was, in part, it was the 1980 issue that kind of, Terry Adams had something to do with this getting reissued. I do know that NRBQ at this time, I'm pretty sure they were on Red Rooster Rounder Records, and there it is. This record is in beautiful condition, and I'm just thrilled to have it. I paid a pretty hefty price, and even these aren't cheap. But, you know, hey, you only live once, and you can only get these so often. I had all of this, and the Shaggs do their own thing as digital, but it's just not the same. I love this band. I really do. When I listen to it, it just makes me smile. I'm going to be honest and say in 1969, had I listened to this, even though in 1969 I loved the Fugs and Holy Modal Rounders and a lot of very anti-professional type stuff, Underground and all that, I think I would have thought, I probably would not have gotten it and just thought, well, this is just dorky and not cool. The girls are not expert musicians by any means. The drumming completely reminds me of a kid who used to live up the street from us who was always wanting to jam and stuff, and he just really didn't know. I mean, he couldn't transition from a snare to a tom, you know, doing a roll or anything. Very almost awkward, and there is that sense with this that you know, but it's not one of those things where this is not the kind of thing where I would say, oh, this is so bad, it's great to listen to. That isn't the point. The point is what makes this so good is the same thing in essence that makes Jazz Fair so wonderful. They're pure. It's just pure. What it says right here on the back of the album, the Shaggs are real, pure, unaffected by outside influences. And that's what I mean by that pure. Their music is different. It is theirs alone. They believe in it, live it. It's part of them, and they are part of it. Yeah, Who Are Parents? What a great song. And definitely, I mean, the antithesis of the 60s generation got thing. Parents are the ones who really care. Parents are the ones who are always there, you know. Philosophy of the world. Oh, the, you know, skinny people want what the fat people got, and the fat people want what the skinny people got. That Little Sports Car, My Pal Foot, My Companion, a song about the radio, you know. I'm So Happy When You're Near. Things I Wonder, just sweet high school teenage girl poetry set to music. And the more I listen to this, the more I like it. And I've played this several times since I got it, and I haven't even had it very long. I tried to make a video about it before, though, and never got to it. Different, very different, but equally unique and her own. And this is a CD all the way from merry old England. Claire Wheeler. Claire Wells Wheeler. Claire Wheeler is somebody else from England that I know through Facebook. Claire Wells. I love this girl. This is the title of this is I Can't Believe It's Not Better. 30 Golden Greats, 2008 to 2013, and she put this out for her 30th birthday. I bought it on her 31st. I ordered it. It's got a really neat thing here where she's on one side she's printed her photo, and on the other side it's on this, and it is a double CD set. She has an album on Bandcamp, which is, you can order this on Bandcamp, and I'll put the link for that down there too, called Nincompoop. And that's how I got to know her and her music. And I thought, well, this is just great stuff. And it is. Claire is definitely her own, she is her own voice. And she's very unique. She's just wonderful. But an acquired taste, I'll admit, as are the Shaggs, as are half Japanese. I think if you have to acquire a taste for some things like the wind, I don't know what to tell you, you know, unless you just can't stand beautiful melodic brilliantly written and performed music. Claire is although, by the way, yeah, there are connections with Claire, R. Stevie Moore, Lane Steinberg, Chris Bretveld. All of this stuff kind of gets connected. And she's just great. One of her songs here, I'm in a band, parentheses, they don't like my songs. Early sexual encounters. There are some very strange ones in here. Ivories to your ovaries. And she covers R. Stevie Moore's song, Hobbies Galore. Utterly different. And that is actually, I think, where I first heard her was she is on the that 8-volume set, Copy Me, a tribute to R. Stevie Moore. And also she does the song Wayne Wayne Go Away by R. Stevie Moore on here. At any rate, great fun to listen to, and just I love this girl. I really do. I hope I thoroughly enjoy her, and her presence online is very fun. She's quite something. She really is. Anyway, that's all came in the mail, and that's it for now. And I'm glad it was just a little bit, because good God, as long as I've talked, imagine if there had been 20 things here, would have been nobody would have ever watched it all the way through. I hope some of you have.